Jennifer, what are you hearing?
Well, Lisa, as you just reported, we do understand that court has started and the accuser is back on the stand. Judge Rodney Melville taking the bench, and he started off by apologizing to the jury and letting them know that Michael Jackson had a medical need that he needed to attend to. The judge did point out to the jury that it was necessary for the judge to demand Michael Jackson's appearance in court. He also told the jury, do not have a negative inference of his guilt, meaning do not take his late arrival today to mean that Michael Jackson is guilty. And it's important for the judge to point this out to the jury because, remember, the jury is not listening. They are not supposed to be listening to any media coverage. So as far as the jury was concerned today when they arrived at the courthouse, they had no idea why court was delayed. They should not have known that Michael Jackson caused the delay. They should not have known that the judge had to issue an arrest warrant for Michael Jackson's appearance. So it was important for the judge to point out to the jurors that this delay does not necessarily mean that Michael Jackson is guilty. Today, of course, is a critical day in the trial. As we mentioned, the accuser is on the stand. This is his second day testifying. Yesterday, he started laying the groundwork for his relationship with Michael Jackson. He told the jury about his first trip to Neverland Ranch and how on that night, Michael Jackson and one of his associates showed him and his brother internet porn sites. He also told the jury that Michael Jackson asked him and his brother to spend the night in his room. However, Jackson did say they needed to get permission from their parents to do so. He also talked a little bit yesterday about the controversial documentary Living with Michael Jackson, where Jackson is seen holding hands with his accuser. The accuser testified yesterday that Jackson pulled him aside before the taping of that documentary and told him to say things like, "Call me Michael Daddy." And also the accuser said Jackson told him to say that Michael Jackson pretty much cured him of his cancer, which the boy later said was not a true statement. So all of yesterday's testimony leading up to today's testimony, which is critical. Yesterday, the boy did not talk about any of the alleged molestation incidences, and we can only assume that the prosecution is leading up to that. And so today is clearly, as I said, a critical day for the prosecution and obviously an intense one for Michael Jackson and the accuser as they sit across from each other in court.
So, Jennifer, just to be clear, in the case of any repercussions coming from Jackson missing this deadline, have we heard what is going to happen?
No, we have not heard what will happen. As best we can tell, they have started with the testimony after the judge apologizing to the jury, going on with business as usual. So it is not clear to us at this time what the repercussions are for Jackson missing the deadline for that arrest warrant where the judge said, "I'm issuing an arrest warrant to revoke Michael Jackson's bail. He has 1 hour to get to court until that arrest warrant goes into effect." Jackson missed that deadline by a couple of minutes, and we will simply have to wait and see what actions the judge takes.
All right, one more question before I let you go, Jennifer. Do you know what the state of dress of Michael Jackson was? When he entered the courtroom, we saw him wearing pajama pants that looked like he came straight from the hospital. His hair was very tousled. He looked very, very tired. He was wobbling as we're looking at the video now. Did he get a chance in that waiting room to sort of get himself better dressed?
Lisa, unfortunately, I do not have an answer to that question. I was not inside the courtroom, so I did not see him go from the holding room that you mentioned into the courthouse. But you did. You were just looking at the pictures of Michael Jackson arriving, and he clearly looks disheveled. As you mentioned, he's wearing pajama bottoms. He appeared to, at times, be leaning on one of the security guards, and his hair was not combed. And so we simply don't know if Michael Jackson is on painkillers. As it was mentioned, he was going to be on for his back pain, and we'll simply have to wait and see.
All right, MSNBC's Jennifer London. Jennifer, thanks for all the details. We'll check back with you.